Welcome to the Windy City Rundown. Yeah, what's up, everybody? What's up? Good evening, and welcome to another great episode of the Windy City Rundown. I am Eric Avila. Jose Contreras having some technical difficulties with technology, so he'll be joining me pretty soon. If you guys haven't followed us, make sure you follow us on all the social media platforms, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, not Twitter, X, TikTok, on all our social media pages. Make sure you guys like and follow all our shows. Hit the little bell when you get notified to get notified when our shows are live. We got a lot to talk about today. Obviously, the Super Bowl over the weekend. If you guys, the only way you guys won money, if you probably had some Super Bowl squares, to be honest, because nobody expected what we expected from the outcome. Talk about the Chicago Bears. How far or how close are they compared to the two teams that played on Sunday? And also, we're going to take a look back at the trade deadlines and the Bulls. Just when you thought they got it right, they still ended up getting it wrong. But Jose will be joining us. And guys, if you do want to join us on our show today, the link is in the comment section right here. I'm going to be posting it up in a second. But yeah, if you guys want to join us right here, comment on the show too as well. We give us your guys' thoughts. How do you guys think about the Super Bowl? What do you guys think about our Chicago Bulls? And how far along do you think the Bears are from these two Super Bowl teams? But first things first, I mean, speaking of the Chicago Bears, I felt like they made an appearance in the Super Bowl on Sunday against the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, the stats were crazy. It looked staggering, but it looked very familiar because the Chicago Bears have given us those type of performances in the first half. And as we welcome in Jose Contreras on a perfect timing, Jose, I was telling our viewers that the Bears made the appearance in the Super Bowl. With the stats that they had, the Chiefs had in the first half, it looked like the Bears were just wearing Chiefs gears. Bro, what do you think? We watched the game together, man. What do you think about the game on Sunday?
What we saw from Patrick Mahomes, that game is exactly what we would have saw if Patrick Mahomes played for the Chicago Bears.
That sounds so stupid, but
it's true.
I guess you could go with that one, I guess.
Y'all can't make excuses for him and not make excuses for Caleb Williams. That's all I'm saying.
Well, yeah, I guess. I saw that post too. I think I forgot one of the Chicago pages it ended up posting that up. Like, that's how Patrick Mahomes would look as a Bears uniform. And sure, whatever. I don't waste my time on bullshit. But in all reality, Jose,
it's true. It's true.
I don't know. You already know my take about the Bears.
It's not a knock on Patrick Mahomes. It's a knock on the Bears organization and the fact that they didn't have an offensive line.
That's
true.
You know what I mean? That's but what we talked about though, the Eagles basically copied and pasted what the Bucs did to Patrick Mahomes a few years ago in the Super Bowl. That was just a great dominance defensive performance from the Philadelphia Eagles, and with no blitzing. I think it's the first time or second time in Super Bowl history that the team that won the Super Bowl did not blitz not a single time. They were getting to Patrick Mahomes, man, and that front line was no joke. Everybody did their thing on the defensive side of covering. 2 interceptions. The question, Jose, is like, we all know the defense won that game, right? The defense definitely won the Eagles that game. Jalen Hurts, although he had a pretty decent game, 221, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. He was the MVP of the game for some odd reason, but give credit where credit is due. He did show up. He did perform when he needed to. But overall, that defense won the Eagles the game.
The Kansas City Chiefs, literally, their game plan was to stop the run, Eric. It was stop the run, and they wanted Jalen Hurts to beat him, and he did. That was their game plan. They wanted Jalen Hurts to beat him, and he did. Look, yeah. You give all the credit to the defense, but regardless of the fact, what he did, he needed to do, and he actually did it. So
I mean, the touchdown to Devontae Smith, to kind of, I think, to me, that was the nail in the coffin throughout the whole entire game. That deep pass to Devontae Smith. I'll give credit where credit's due, like you said. Obviously, A.J. Brown getting his after him throwing a tantrum on the sideline and then getting the ball right back. Um, and the interception. I mean, the rookie Deshaun returning back for overall. I mean, we said it last week. The Philadelphia Eagles were the better team. The Kansas City Chiefs just had the better head coach and the better quarterback. And this time the talent prevailed on the Philadelphia Eagles side. And to be quite frank with you, Jose, even though I said, give credit for Jalen Hurts, I will. This has already been 2 Super Bowls that they played against each other that Jalen Hurts has been better than Patrick Mahomes. Giving back to that game recently, if you don't remember, Jalen Hurts had like 4 touchdowns in that game. Literally had the Eagles on his back throughout the whole entire time. He still came up short winning the Super Bowl that back then. But this time, I mean, he did look better than Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes looked lost. Patrick Mahomes looked scared. Patrick Mahomes looked like any average quarterback against a defensive front like the Philadelphia Eagles.
Hey, that look what the Eagles been able to do these last couple years in the draft and the offseason has been perfect. Absolutely perfect. That team was stacked, man. They hit on all levels. Credit to the GM because he gets all the credit in the world. All the draft picks that they have, all the draft capital they had the last few years, the free agent signings, coaching staff. I mean, they did everything they needed to do. Saquon Barkley was a monster pickup.
Yeah,
it's remarkable, man. Like they literally gave the blueprint to every single NFL team out there. You got to be perfect. I don't know how else to say it.
Yeah, you gotta hit on your draft picks. You gotta hit on your first 2 rounds. You gotta hit, definitely your first and your second round picks. You have to hit right on the spot, and then everything else comes in the third from 3rd to 7. You're absolutely right, man. I mean, that team was built literally from the inside out. That team was built perfectly for the Philadelphia Eagles. You're right, Nick Sirianni. Uh, I mean, look, last year they were talking about him getting fired. After a poor season last year, after being in the Super Bowl the year prior to that, and look, it prevailed. I mean, he ended up winning the game comfortably. He beat the Chiefs that were going for a Chief Pete, and they did not get it. Still a Taylor Swift reference. I mean, the Chiefs did score 22. She doesn't have a song called 22 out there. So if they want to put some type of conspiracy with Taylor Swift and the Kansas City Chiefs, it is that one right there with her song with 22. But I mean, where do the question is simple. Where do both teams go from here? Like, do you see the Philadelphia Eagles running it back again next year? And what do the Kansas City Chiefs need to do to take it to the next step and be back in the promised land and winning again, Jose?
Oh man, I think the Chiefs are always going to be in it. When you have someone like Patrick Mahomes, you have a coach like Andy Reid. Sky's the limit. I mean, that team shows you that they could do far more with less.
Yeah.
And so they always have a shot. I think the Eagles do too, man. They have such a good team. I mean, how do they not? As long as nobody gets hurt and everybody stays healthy, man. Hell yeah, 100%. They'll come back, and they'll make it tough for any team, AFC or NFC.
Favorites from the NFC next year?
I would say so. Yeah. I mean, you still can't look past the Lions. The Commanders, what they've been able to do this year has been amazing. Hopefully the Bears get better. But I mean, and you still have the Packers, the Vikings. I mean, the NFC is only going to get better from here on out. I don't. If I had to pick between one of those two teams going back to back to the Super Bowl or going again next year, I don't. I think I could definitely see the Eagles more than the Chiefs. I just think the AFC is so stacked. Anything can happen out there. So yeah, I think the Eagles definitely can make it back for sure.
Yeah, man. And obviously, I did make a joke reference earlier about how the Bears made an appearance in the Super Bowl yesterday, dressed as the Kansas City Chiefs, and the performance that they had in the first half yesterday. But in all reality, Jose, I mean, are the Bears close or are they far from being in that level to reach such type of heights?
Man, they're far. They're far in my book only because look how long it took the Eagles.
Yeah.
Since what? Since Jalen Hurts been a quarterback. Remember the year that the Buccaneers won the Super Bowl? They faced the Eagles in the first round, and the Eagles got bounced.
No.
You know what I mean? So it's been a while, but it's been a long time coming at the same time. So it's been a while. They definitely, especially like a year like that helped Jalen Hurts. They only progressively got better and better, and I feel like the Bears have to go through that same trial and tribulation. They got to first make the playoffs. Even if they make the playoffs, they got to go through the heartaches, the ups and downs, and the postseason. Then they just got to get better year in and year out. And I feel like with Ryan Poles, getting an extension with Ben Johnson coming in, they definitely can. I mean, there's definitely brighter days, but it's going to take
Mhm.
time. It's not going to happen this year. It might not even happen next year. But I would say in 3 years, yeah, I think we can see the Bears in that position.
In 3 years, by that time, we're going to have the conversation on whether or not and how much are we going to give Caleb Williams to be our quarterback for the future, because that's kind of being at the tail end of his rookie deal. And to be honest, like
That's fine. That's fine.
it's going to give that it's going to be up to that conversation simply because, like, all right, they wasted a year. Let's be 100% honest here. They wasted a year of Caleb Williams' rookie year contract, right? Obviously it's going to get bigger, and obviously by that time, in 3 years, he'll be in year 4. The player option for year 5 that the team has, the team options, should I say, that they're going to have by year 5. And at that point, Jose, how much we're really banking on at that point, how much of an influence Ben Johnson is to Caleb Williams to get him to that next level where he can have a situation just like Patrick Mahomes and being, give him less, but it's better for less because Caleb Williams can get you there. And I think that's where we're yet to see, and where hopefully we get to find out in the near future that Caleb Williams can take us there with less talent. Um, but right now, yeah, Jose, I agree with you. I mean,
The
Bears.
thing is, right now we have great talent. Like right now, offensively, I feel like we have great talent. I do think we need another running back. I'm not saying that we've drafted one. I'm just saying I do think we need another one. I mean, that'll
Okay.
complement the Ben Johnson offense we saw in Detroit.
Yeah.
That's a little bit faster, younger, with less, tire tread than DeAndre Swift, and maybe just one more slot receiver, a legitimate one. It could be anybody. You know what I mean? And I think under this offense they could thrive. They got to work on the O line. Obviously, they got to work on the D line, on the defensive side.
Mm-hmm.
And it's okay, Eric, if in 3 years we're talking about the Bears actually going to Super Bowl. That's fine because that tells you that this year and next year they're at least competitive. They're at least competitive, and that's all we want. We want Caleb Williams to be the guy to look competitive. Look at the Cincinnati Bengals. Nobody's questioning their quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's questioning that offense. But did they make the playoffs? No. That's what I'm
No.
saying. You could be that type of team who was scary, but at the same time still ways away from winning it all. I don't mind that. As long as in that time frame, even if you're about to pick Caleb Williams, you're ready to go all for it. Think about it. By that time, he should be in his prime. If he's good as we want him to be, as
Mm-hmm.
good as we think he's going to be, he should be in
Mm-hmm.
his prime. And with that being said, yeah, you pay the man, and it doesn't matter how long it's been. All that matters is that it's happening, and I can see it happening in 3 years.
Okay. You say you Bears need a running back. Here are the list of the running backs that are unrestricted free agents this year. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Aaron Jones at 30.
Okay.
Najee Harris at 27.
Yeah. Okay.
Jeff Wilson at 30. Nick Chubb at 30.
They're all 30 years
AJ
old.
AJ Dillon at 27. Nick Chubb at 30. Javante Williams at 25. And Alexander Madison at 27.
The
Those
only
are
one
so far the top, what, 7
The only one
running
that,
backs
that
coming
really
out this year.
stands out, the only one that really stands out is Nick Chubb, but he's so injury prone, and we need someone who, with less tire tread. He may have technically
Uh-huh.
less tire tread, but it's only because he's always hurt. But I just think,
Injury prone.
man, that injury is scary, man.
I mean, the one that also sticks out to me in my eyes are
Aaron
two,
Jones,
especially if you're talking about the younger ones, is Javante Williams and also Najee Harris. I think Najee Harris will probably
yeah,
do some type of wonders here.
no, none,
But
none of those guys really scream. You need a Jameer Gibbs to complement DeAndre Swift.
not for
You know what I
sure.
mean? You need that. You need a Jameer Gibbs type player I get it. The only way you're gonna get that is if you draft
Mhm.
Gentry
From Boise State.
from Boise State. That's probably
Mhm.
the only way you're gonna get that young and that powerful, that athletic there. I really don't want to get a running back in the first round when you
Yeah,
have
me
that
either.
offensive line the way it is. So
And even then, so I mean, you could probably use that first round pick to, uh, I don't know, trade for Micah Parsons, which we'll probably get into a little deeper later. You could trade up to get Will Campbell or probably even Abdul Carter. I mean, you could do plenty of things. But I do agree. I mean, you already know my spiel. I said it last year. DeAndre Swift made no sense on why they went out to go get him. They got him, and he was the first. He was the first running back to, or he was actually the very first free agent signing, which pissed me off. He was the very first free agent signing when free agency opened up, and
yeah,
that pissed me off.
but he was a good signing if you think about it. At the end of the day, he had it was only the beginning of the season where people were kind of like, "What the hell's going on?" Because they couldn't do anything with him. But that's more on the coaching and the offensive play caller. You know what I mean? So Shane Walter didn't know what to do with him.
I'll just
He,
put it in this perspective, Jose.
he made up for it. He made up
I
for it.
mean, sure, I guess you can say that, right? But let's just put it this way: Ben Johnson had DeAndre Swift, and he shipped him to Philadelphia. That's all I
Right.
have to say about
And
that.
that's fine. That's fine. He shipped them to Philadelphia, and for good reason because they got younger. They had a combo um, with
Gibbs
Gibbs
Montgomery.
and Montgomery, which is fine. Again, that's okay, regardless of the fact DeAndre Swift still showed you he had a lot left in the tank.
Mm.
I mean, he played well. He played well this season. Say what you want about him. He played well. He was healthy. Um, that's fine. He's under contract, so you have him. It is what it is. Just find someone who's going to complement us. Find someone who's going to help grow that running game. And that's all I'm asking.
Windy City Rundown here on YouTube and also on Facebook, guys. Make sure you follow us on our other social media platforms. Hit the little bell on our Facebook page to get notified when our shows are live, and also join us on the chat too as well. Link is in the comment section if you guys want to join us. As Jose looks like he's blind on the screen, if you can get much closer to that camera, we might be able to see his nostrils or
I
what's
have my
inside his
glasses
nostrils.
somewhere. I don't even know where I put them. I think they're in my backpack.
Any final thoughts on the NFL season, Jose? Before we wrap it up, NFL season officially over.
It seemed like it took forever, and at the same time, it seemed like it just flew.
Right? Make that make sense, right?
Right.
Your biggest takeaway from the season?
Oh man, easy. Don't ever believe the hype. Wait and see. Wait and see. From here on out, wait and see.
That's a good one. Yeah, don't believe the hype.
Don't believe the hype.
Biggest takeaway, bro. You could. How should I say this? You could finally have an NFL discussion about quarterbacks in the NFL and where to rank them. I think for the first time in a very long time, you could actually look at the NFL and take a step back and be like, they are probably a good 13 quarterbacks in the NFL. And then however you place them is however you place them. And I think that the bright side about that is that they're all young. They're all in their 20s. They still haven't hit the 30 mark, and they won't hit the 30 mark until a couple more years. And the NFL is just gonna get more exciting with these quarterbacks for the upcoming future. So yeah, I mean that's my biggest takeaway. I mean, bro, we're gonna be in for a very long ride with these quarterbacks coming out soon, bro. So yeah, and obviously the biggest disappointment. I mean, it's no. I mean, we all know the question to that. I mean, we know the answer to that question. That's the Chicago Bears being the Chicago Bears and being a very big, huge, ugly disappointment this past season, and just giving us another losing streak. So we'll see. But like you said, grass is greener on the other side. Ben Johnson is here. He got a decent coaching staff. We will break down the Bears in the future in future episodes, draft positions, free agencies, players to go, players need to leave, all that good stuff. An upcoming Windy City Underground show. So keep it locked for that one. As we once again, congratulations, Philadelphia Eagles, on your Super Bowl win. We'll give them that one. Yeah, congratulations. They finally beat the Kansas City Chiefs, only the second team to do so in the Super Bowl. So let's go with that. Jose, I know you have a lot to say, my guy. Last week, I was over here shouting and hooting and hollering and excited as all hell about the Bulls trading Zach LaVine. And for me, it was a sign of a fresh start. Jose, that's all the Bulls did.
Mustard. I was saying.
That's all that the Bulls did was just trade Zach LaVine and really got their own pick back and some other players to be whatever. I mean, I still don't even know their names. And to be quite honest, Jose, I am so happy and glad that I don't have the opportunity to see these boys play because I would be very upset, very pissed off still. And last week I was happy. I really was. Like I thought that this was going to be, a new era, a new time for this being a Chicago Bulls fan. But Jose, it is the same bullshit, just a different toilet.
Eric, I hate saying I told you so. I really do. But I told you so. I mean, how do you, I don't know, man. Look, no, honestly, no. I don't like saying it. If I'm being 100% honest, I part of me was hoping you were right. But
Me too.
part of me was hoping you were right, man. But it's just it's frustrating. It's frustrating because yes, they did trade away Zach LaVine, which should have been the first step. I agree with you 100%.
That shouldn't have been the first
And,
step. The
and
first step was not signing him at all.
no, you're right. Well, no. Well, look, let's just start from where they were. Okay,
Okay, fine.
before the season, like they going into the
Fine.
season. This is where they were. Okay, they should have got more for Caruso. They didn't. Okay, fine. Giddy looked like he was playing well. Cool, whatever. You know you need to trade Zach LaVine. You knew you needed to trade away Nikola Vucevic.
Hell
You
yeah.
needed to trade Kobe White. He was playing well. You
Highest
had
value.
3 guys that should have been moved at the trade deadline. 3 of them.
100%. Hell, the whole
Only
squad. Even Giddy was up for grabs. I don't give a shit.
Giddy, Lonzo Ball, everybody. There's like you said, there should have been nobody left. Now we get it. Patrick Williams, you signed $90 million too. Nobody was gonna take on that contract. Nobody wanted him, so that's fine. At the end of the day, that's your mistake. It is what it is. But you trade Zach LaVine away for who? For a couple of bench players that probably won't be on this team the next couple of years. For
Or
a
next
pick
year.
for a pick that was already yours to begin with, it's it's frustrating because then okay, whatever that happened. You're right. It's a step in. It's I guess it's a half a step in the right direction. Cool. You have Vooch who you can get. You should be able to get a lot for. You have White who you should be able to get something decent. But you didn't even trade those guys away. Instead, you extend Lonzo Ball for what? What was the point? Why? And we know why. We know exactly why. Look who the owner is. It's Jerry Reinsdorf, Michael Reinsdorf. It's the Reinsdorfs, the same team who own the Chicago White Sox. Those guys don't give a fuck about winning. They've done nothing but show you they don't care about anything other than asses and seats. And what happens? The Bulls are still top 10, top 5, top 3 in attendance. They got us hook, line, and sinker, and not us, but Bulls fans. I boycotted this team years ago. I haven't watched a game. I'm not watching a game. I'm very aware.
Can't watch a game.
No, I'm very aware you could pay $20 to
What
watch them if you wanted to a month. But why would I? Why would I? It makes.
I wouldn't even spend $1.
There's no point. This team, that's what this team wants. All they want to do is make money. They want to feed off our misery because it's basketball. It's the Bulls. This team, when hot, is one of the biggest teams in the world.
Facts.
And it just sucks. We have an incompetent owner who doesn't give a fuck about us. And it is what it is. At this point, you don't give a fuck about us. I don't give a fuck about you. I'm not going to watch you. I'm not going to support you. I'm not going to buy any of your merch. Nothing. None of that.
Nothing. Not even if they give you the tickets for free, you wouldn't go.
No, I wouldn't go.
Jeez.
Not at all. Wouldn't even go. Because that would require me for what? To pay for parking? To pay for some kind of concessions when I'm there? No, fuck you guys. Hell no. No, thank you. Not even for free. I would not go to a Bulls game. Nothing.
And the crazy part about it, Jose, is the fact that, like, it's a wasted opportunity. You're right, to make us happy for once, right? To make us happy to like actually care, right? Because let's be completely honest. You're right. He owns the White Sox, right? And everybody in Chicago is split. You're the Cubs or Sox. But the two teams that kind of unify together is the Bulls and the Bears.
Yep.
But since he owns the Bulls and it's ran like the Sox, it's kind of like you're pissing us off on a level to where like, yeah, you're right. Like, who cares? I don't care if I'm not watching you. I could care less. I could just get the updates on my phone. I could get the updates on my phone and see that A, why are you trying when you're up against a team that you're not supposed to be up against? And B, you get the update right now against Detroit Pistons. They're getting their ass cheeks blown out, bro. It's such a confusing factor simply because like you have value to get something in return. Hell, like you said, a first round pick. Hell, a second round pick. Hell, a fucking big bag of chips, a family size bag of chips, and two liters of pop, bro, for a fucking party for all I care to get something in return. And nothing,
Right.
bro. Nothing. Tony, exactly. Fuck the Bulls. What's up, man? I hope you're doing well. Good to see you out here, man. A waste of time. And he said he rather watches DePaul or Northwestern, and I agree. And that's what I've been doing, Jose. I literally been watching college basketball just to see who is coming up in the NBA in the NBA rankings, bro. Like I got my eyes on two players, but then or three players. But even then, so Jose, what are the odds that the Bulls are going to do it right by picking those two players? And even if they're going to be in the position to pick those two or three players that I want, right? And it's just so frustrating. It's like you had the one opportunity to make it all right, and you still ended up fucking it all up. Like I said, the trade grades came out a couple days after the trade deadline, and I said the Bulls got an F minus. Like that's the grade, an F minus. You know? No, 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 no. Absolutely the fuck not. But to the point that we were talking about right now, John's right. Like we should have just kept Zach and just been like, fuck it, whatever. Because at that point, that's how the Bulls are running. They're just like, fuck it, whatever. And it's frustrating. I celebrated last week with hope, and I ended up coming back to how I was the whole entire month. I should have just cut my sports fucking mulligan, bro, and should have just traded for another team.
I told you. I was like, man, you sure you want? You sure you want? You sure you don't want to switch? Because I'm not gonna lie, I was almost there with you. I was almost gonna jump. Look, I'm not gonna lie. If this team, if this organization continues the way it's going, I don't know how much longer I can go, Eric. I'm not gonna lie,
Bro. I miss basketball.
I'm I'll be honest, I don't, and I think it's because like I tried watching outside of the Bulls, and I'm just maybe I'm just not a fan of the 22 seconds in, jack up a three, then it goes down the court, another 23, 20, like only like 2 or 3 seconds in on a 24 shot clock. You have like 19 seconds left and you jack another three, brick. Then you go down the court, jack another three, brick. And it's like, bro, what happened to the game, bro? What happened to the game? And then you have these stupid ass trades, like what happened with Luka going to Los Angeles. Come on, man.
Collusion.
Like, come on, bro. And then people are like, oh my God, Anthony Davis got hurt. Yeah, no shit. What else has he shown you? I'm sorry. I am not equipped. I'm sorry. I am not equipped. I am not. There's nowhere about anything about me, experience wise, nothing about being an NBA GM. But how the fuck do I know that?
Yeah,
how do
right?
I know that? I mean, like, come on, man. I knew that was a bad decision.
I think everybody knew it was a bad decision. Like not even NBA 2K would even accept that trade, bro. Like that's just the crazy part about it. And you're right. Blame all those people that go and support 100%. I mean, I haven't. I've not watched a single second. It's hard to watch a single second of the Chicago Bulls basketball, anyways. But I have not watched. John says, I want to jump ship now that Zach is gone because they did nothing after. Literally, just a salary dump, and now the Bulls are just a complete joke in this league.
But it's true. It's a salary dump. And they showed you by extending Lonzo Ball, by not getting rid of Vooch, by not getting rid of Kobe White, all it is they're still trying to bring people into seats because they're still one of the highest attendance crowd in the entire NBA. All they care about is money. They don't give a fuck about winning at all. At all. It's crazy.
Yeah.
At
John
least
said we should.
Real quick. I'll give John this credit. At least with Zach, they could play behind the fact that we're trying to compete. Now what? Now you're exposing yourself.
Yeah, 100%. We should have traded Zach for Luca. That was the asking price. Shaking my head. I mean, at this point, yeah. I mean, I would have been okay with it too. The
Fucking
fuck?
back.
I mean, that's on the winning. That's on the winning side. But the fact again, there's collusion where nobody really knew other than Rob Pelinka and the Mavericks GM about the Luca trade. I mean, shit. The fuck? I would have gave up everybody too for Luca for that case. I would have gave up Zach. I would have been like, here's also Patrick Williams. Something. You know what I mean? Something. What is it? To be honest, a lot of the tours just go see the house that Jordan built.
It's
Yeah,
true.
I mean that is true.
Yeah,
Um,
it's
but
historic.
I mean, it is a historic arena for that reason only. But again, like there's still Chicago Bulls fans that still go because obviously they probably never had a chance or an opportunity to go when they were a little kid, especially if they're like us growing up in the 90s to see Jordan or to see the. But at the same time, it's kind of like you're supporting something that's shitty. You're supporting shitting it. I mean, I don't know.
Says true fans don't go. I
No,
mean,
yeah,
I'm sure
they
this
don't even watch. They don't even care.
But it's pretty bad, man. And no, you don't get me wrong. It's probably still a fun environment. Like the people that like the DJ, the people like who the cheerleaders, Benny the Bull. I'm sure if they still whoever puts on that event, it's still a fun environment. Credit to them.
Yeah,
Credit to them. It's probably still fun to go to. Kids probably still love to go, which is fine.
Yeah.
But if you're going to see quality basketball, you're just not going to find it. You're not. If you're going to see competitive basketball, you're not going to find it unless they play teams like the Detroit Pistons. You're not going to find it.
Or the Celtics.
No.
Or the Thunder.
No. I mean, like it's not competitive. The only way it's competitive for the Bulls is if they play another weak team.
I mean, not really, bro. They're playing the Pistons right now, and it's not even competitive.
All I'm saying is that you're not gonna get competitive basketball against a good team. So,
bro, bring in the Windy City Bulls, and they'll probably give a better game than the Chicago Bulls right now. To be completely honest with you,
John does say that it's tourist like Wrigley. Look, Wrigley is a tourist site.
Yeah, it's definitely a tourist site. And a lot of people want to go because of the history behind Wrigley Field.
But at least they show that they try
some type of quality that they want to try. They also
piss better quality there. But there's better quality there than there is anywhere else in the Chicago right now. So
I mean it is probably the only good Chicago team at the moment, and I say that very hesitantly about the Chicago Cubs being the only good team right now because that bar is very low.
Because it's low, but it's also it's also hesitant for me to say that because the Bears I feel like are on the precipice of way exceeding that, right? But I get what you're saying. Yeah,
100%. The city loves basketball in general, so people will go. Definitely going to see the Sky. I mean, the Sky has a better future than the Chicago Bulls at this point with less games. To be completely honest with you, the Sky market's better than the Chicago Bulls right now at the moment. You can't at least see the Chicago Sky on WGN.
And that's with Angel Reese, who a lot of people don't like.
Exactly.
Honestly, I like Angel Reese. I'm a fan, but a lot of people don't. A lot of people hate on her, and I get why, but I don't agree with it.
I mean, it is what it is. I don't care.
You need that. Look, to me, you need that arrogance. You need that brass. You need that confidence, that cocky persona. You need that in Chicago. You need that person like, yeah, I'm it. And I get it. There's times when she's gonna have bad games, but I feel like she's a star. I do.
Do you want to go there? Because I could definitely have this conversation about
there. I mean, a lot of people hate on her for what she wears and how she portrays herself.
It's not that. I could care. Look.
Right. Yeah, who cares about that, man? Outside on the court, she's not bad. She's a good player.
Jeez.
She's a good player, bro.
She's decent. She's not good.
People hate on her because she tried to compare herself to Caitlin Clark, and we all know that was bullshit.
And then that's something. But the talk that she can have is saying that at least in college she beat her and she got a national championship in college than it is in the NBA. The talks about that too as well. Cardosa also, who plays with the Chicago Sky too as well, also has a ring over Caitlin Clark too as well.
John said she's not a star, but I don't concur with that, John. Because look, what's a star, right? A star is an attraction, is it not?
Face recognition. I agree.
She's a star.
I agree.
She's a star.
I agree. I mean, she's for the WNBA, she's a star.
Yeah.
let's keep it in perspective because I know where John's gonna go because he's gonna bring up some other bullshit from another player from another
he's not
league,
gonna bring up bullshit. He's gonna bring up stats, which is fine. Like he has a
which
valid
is
point there.
fine.
But if you can market her
But she
and it
can carry
works,
herself. Yes, I
right?
agree. She can carry herself into that argument, enter in that conversation that she is a star, which she was in college and heading into the WNBA.
She's a polarizing player,
She's definitely polarizing, and
sometimes
that's
polarizing players can be stars. So
exactly 100%. Tony says no fucking way. Over 3 million fans went to go see the Cubs, and they don't spend and put a great product on the field. Look at the Dodgers. Come on. How should I? There's a difference. Look, I hate to say this, but you know that phrase that money can't buy happiness. The Dodgers is just an exception, bro, because they actually found a way to like pay every good player and then compete. The thing that pisses me off about the Chicago Cubs is like the fact that they don't have Los Angeles Dodgers money, but they have money to compete. They just don't spend it like Tony says. And
there's a
not even
bracket
that
for sure. Yeah, there's a bracket. I feel like it's Yankees, it's Dodgers, Yankees, or Yankees. However you want to do it, it's definitely Dodgers, Yankees, and the Cubs are way down there as far as money wise. Look, I agree with
they're not down there, Jose.
I agree with I agree with you, Eric, that they have money enough to compete with those two teams. I do think there's a bit of cheapness there, a better Ricketts being frugal. And look, so I once heard that, and look,
He's from
this could be an
Monterrey.
excuse. This could definitely be an excuse, right?
It's
And I
definitely
want to believe it. I want to believe it because I'm a Cubs fan. But I did hear that they have been over the salary cap the last couple years, regardless of the fact that there's a perception that they don't spend money. So
I
they
don't give
have
a
been
shit.
over it. So
I don't give a
this year,
shit.
so going into this year, they want to be under it, so that way they don't get taxed or fined, whatever it is.
I don't give a shit. That don't mean
So,
shit.
wait. So that
That
way,
doesn't
the
mean shit.
next couple of years, they could go over it again and rebuild,
Nah,
in a better
I
way.
don't give a
Look,
shit. That
I
don't mean
don't
shit,
agree with
bro.
it. Look, part of me wants to believe it, but I don't believe it either because we all know
No,
how Tom Ricketts is.
because the one thing that pisses me off about everything that he says, he said biblical losses after the pandemic. Granted, whatever. He used a Bible reference to his losses of his wages. That's his point of view, not mine. I'm with Tony. Who fucking cares? You're a fucking billionaire. It's not Wrigleyville anymore. It's Wrigley Corp. It's Wrigley Corporation. You have DraftKings that you're getting money off of that people go and watch games even right now to this day. Bro, in a couple weeks for March Madness, there's going to be people there watching fucking games, bro. Everything that's
All year round.
around
All year round.
Wrigley is
St. Patrick's
all
Day,
by the Chicago, is all by the Chicago
Wrigleyville's
Cubs.
popping. Like, yeah, no, I get it. Look, I
Bro,
100%.
they just had fucking a Winter Wonderfest right now in Wrigleyville over the
Hey, and I'm
holiday
with you
break,
guys.
bro.
Look, I'm with you, and I'm with Tony. I'm 100%. I agree with you guys. I do. I
But
do agree with
I
you
don't
guys.
want to hear. I don't want to hear about. There's no such thing as salary cap.
Look,
Can they go over the luxury
I like
tax?
to play devil's advocate a little bit.
Okay,
I do.
no, because in certain conversations, it's fine. You can play devil's advocate all you fucking want. I don't care. For this instinct, when there is really no salary cap for a fucking league, you go out and you just give money if you really care. He doesn't care. He won his ring in 2016 the cheap way, and he's gonna bank on that because the Cubs haven't won in 108 years prior to that, or 118, however long the fuck it was. I don't even. It's about to be 10 years next year if the Cubs don't come out and win it this year.
Crazy.
10 years next year. That's it. So right now he's definitely banking on that success. That the flag that I have right here, right next to me, that has a championship, he's banking still on that and still making money hand over fist. So don't give me the bullshit about they went over the salary cap last year, the last couple of years for shit product. Don't give me that, bro. I don't want to hear it. I do not want to fucking hear it. The Brewers shouldn't be better than us.
For those who just joined,
no,
I said, wait. All I said was this is what I heard. I didn't say I'd agree with it. I said this is what I heard. And as a Cubs fan, I would like to agree with it because I don't want to shit on my favorite baseball team. But wait, let me finish. But I agree with what you're saying. I agree with what Tony's saying. I'm 100% agree. When you look at the Yankees, when you look at the Dodgers, you have that money, spend the money. Like those two fan bases can never say shit about their owner when they're just paying left and right for these really high level quality good players. They can't say shit about him. We're here calling Tom Ricketts cheap, just like we're called, just like we called Reinsdorf cheap, just like at one point we called McCaskey cheap. And I don't get it. I don't know what it is about Chicago. I don't know what it is about these billionaires that come here and they just think, you know what? We're not New York. We're not Los Angeles. The pressure isn't all that high. Let's just rack up the money. Who cares? I don't know what it is. I don't understand it. It doesn't make sense.
We're a top 3 market with a third world market mindset when it comes to sports ownership.
At this point, I wouldn't even call us a top 3 market anymore. We don't spend like we are. So why even call us that?
I mean, what's the one thing that they taught us at school? That Chicago's what, the 3rd biggest market in the country, right?
I get it, right? But I understand that's the perception, but it's not reality.
Right. And yet we have third world leaders on our sports team side running our teams. W take from Eric. Love to see his growth from 2016. I mean,
he has no choice.
Right. I mean, look. They had an opportunity to build the dynasty, and they just said, hey, let's just keep the same fucking players that won it last year. Let's not rebuild, or let's not bring in more talent. Let's just run it back. They went to 3 NLCS. Fine. Back-to-back years. Great. Fine. Cool. But I agree. He nutted once and is happy. Fuck that. Yeah, I'm not happy either. I wanted more. The one thing about winning championships is that it becomes addicting. You want more of it. You want to win more. You want to be the main team. You want to have a dynasty.
Hey, I'll take it, John.
Maybe Mayor Johnson should take over spending for our sports.
No. Let's bring in the Dalton mayor, whatever her name is. I'll take her.
No. She keeps it for herself, bro. No, it's a thing. No, don't even.
She'll spend it on. Hell no,
on herself. Next thing you know, the ivy and Wrigley won't even be green anymore, bro. It'll just be fucking sticks and twigs all over the brick wall, bro. I'm good. She can stay there. At least Johnson knows how to spend money the other way around, bro. And at least we'll spend it just to make us happy one way or another.
He'll still spend it on himself too. What are you
Property
talking about,
taxes will be high as fuck, but guess what? At least our sports teams will be thriving. I can tell you that much, my guy.
He spends it on himself too.
Good thing I'm in good old Northwestern Indiana, my guy.
You and me both.
Yep.
HMD, baby.
But dude, it's crazy. It's crazy that we're still talking about this. Like nothing will change. We still got to hit up the Wrigley for that new patio. I am down. I was going to protest my Cubs this year too as well because of nothing.
Oh, you can't protest the Cubs this year.
I can, bro. I really can because it's the same conversation we've been having about the Chicago Cubs after the rebuild of tearing down the championship winning team, bro. And the fact that matter,
but Eric, but at least they have it. I feel it. Look, and it's not maybe competitive enough to win a World Series, but they're competitive. They're competitive to at least try to win the division. I feel like it's different from the Bulls. It's different from the Bears.
It's not different.
It's a tad different. It's a tad bit different.
It's not the difference, bro. Look, the difference is between both. The difference is the fact that there is no salary cap in the MLB. There is some in the NFL.
I understand that, but
yes, there shouldn't be. You have to take advantage of everything that's presented to you on that fucking table.
What would you give the Cubs as a grade level right now? Would you give them a B minus?
No, not even close. A C minus.
Bro, they're not a C minus.
For one fucking player that they signed and a trade for Cody Bellinger for fucking a bag of potato chips and money,
Eric,
bro.
We're not talking about the off season. We're talking about the way their team looks on paper right now.
Jose, the Cubs did absolutely diddly shit.
They're a B minus at best, bro. They're a B minus at best.
Not a B minus? No, hell no.
They're next year they're a C minus because they're not gonna resign.
Next year's the D, maybe even an F. Honestly, the only thing that can save them, and I don't even know if this can actually save their grade, is getting Alex Bregman. I hate the talks about the Cubs being linked with this player and that player and stay like this. But to be completely honest with you, Kyle Tucker is only one fucking player. What is he going to do? He has no support in front of him, and he has no support behind him. All these players we have seen already,
they've still added some arms. They still have a really fucking great coach.
Fucking dude, what about the back end? What about the back end of the rotation?
You still got Pico Armstrong who's growing. Come on, man. Like they got a bit of a squad, man. Amaga's still there. Suzuki's still there. It's okay. It's a decent team.
They were there last year.
Right.
It's literally the same fucking team.
It's a decent team. It's still a good team.
What? To win you 82 games?
That's fine.
Games?
That's fine.
Make the playoffs?
That's why I'm saying C-. If you want to give it a C+, fine, or B-. B minus.
You gave it a B-. I'm giving it a C-.
No, right. What I'm saying is, if you want to keep it at a C, let's do C+. But there's no way there's a C-, bro. Come on, let's be honest. Let's be real.
No my God, Jose. No, bro. You literally just switched Kyle Tucker and Cody Bellinger and just add a few.
Okay, what's your C- team? How many wins are you predicting? So how many wins are you predicting with your C- team?
83.
And let's make a bet, because I guarantee you it'll be over.
83.
Bro, that's not a C-. Come on, no, you're being scared. The 83 win team is not a C-, bro. It's not
scared of what?
Team. Come on,
scared
bro.
Of what?
A C- seems like in the low 70s. Let's be real. Come on.
No,
F is like what? What was the White Sox win total last year? Was it?
I gave it 55, and they only won like 40.
That's an F. That's like an F-.
I get that, Jose.
Okay,
I get that.
So a C- can be 80. You're going half.
But there's a difference. There's a difference between the two teams in Chicago baseball, bro. There's a big ass difference.
Yes. 100%. But an F. But you're going from a 40 win team for an F- to a C- to 80 win. Come on, Eric. Let's be real, bro.
You want me to be real, bro? The Pirates, the Cardinals did not even. I don't even think the Pirates and the Cardinals have even made an offseason move. The Brewers and the Cincinnati Reds. The Cincinnati Reds are an up and coming team.
That's fine.
The Brewers have been a thorn in the Cubs foot for the last couple years, and they're probably in the middle market of spending money. The Cubs have spent millions and millions and millions of dollars over the Milwaukee Brewers, and yet the Milwaukee Brewers still come and prevailing, bro. So how are you going to tell me?
Here's the thing. I agree with you with your 83.
Wait. How are you going to tell me? No, how are you going to tell me? How are you going to tell me that that switching Cody Bellinger and Kyle Tucker automatically makes this team better?
Bro, you're literally saying 83 wins.
Yes.
I agree with that. I agree, 83 wins, but that's not C-.
That's dude. Compared to last year, the only reason why it's a C- is because they actually added some type of arms, but yet they still don't have a closer and a setup.
But if the results, but if you're saying the results is better or the same, how is that a C-? We're talking about the overall team. We're not talking about what they did in the offseason. I'm telling you to look at the team the way it's constructed.
It's the Chicago fucking Cubs. They have the money to spend on big players, and they fucking don't.
Eric,
that is why.
Yes, that's the perception. But that's the perception for every Chicago team in here in the city. That's fine. We're talking about. My question was
perfect. That is perfect. A D, and I'm being nice. A C-, and I'm being fucking nice, bro.
It's not. So okay, so what you're saying is, if let's say they win 85, 86 games, it's a C-? Come on, man. It's a B- at best, bro.
Bro, 85 wins this year compared to last season doesn't even get you into the playoffs.
It's
yeah, exactly. My point exactly. And the only team you really had to compete this year is Milwaukee Brewers, and they fell off because they've lost a lot of talent.
They did fall off. That's why I'm saying maybe 85, 86 can get you there. I mean, we'll see how competitive this division is.
And for what? Just to be like, all right, cool. Cubs are in the playoffs. They're gonna get their ass whooped by the next upcoming.
It's still better than C-.
Blah blah blah. All for what? No. The fact of the matter is, like, they should be one of the teams to compete or to make noise because that NL side is completely wide open.
Yes, every single year. I agree. They should be that. I agree with that. They should be, but they're not. So I'm looking at it for what it is, and I'm asking, what's your realistic expectation?
83 wins is my realistic expectations for the minimal moves that the Chicago Cubs made. And I am being nice.
How many games did they win last year? Was it
84, 85?
They'll go over that. They'll go over that. There's no way they're not, bro.
You need 90 to make the postseason, Jose.
I think they can get 90 wins.
I don't think Kyle Tucker and Cody Bellinger. I don't think Kyle Tucker is a 7-game winner in that aspect by himself with the same squad that Cody Bellinger had last year.
I don't think he is either, but I don't think they're gonna. How
are you going to tell me that they're going to win more if he's not? If he doesn't equivalent to what Cody Bellinger could produce, is my question.
Okay, I'm looking at their roster right now.
It's literally I literally just told you it's the same roster from last year. You just switch Kyle Tucker and Cody Bellinger, bro.
You got better arms. You got better arms in the team. Let's be honest. You bolstered up the bullpen a little bit.
I mean, whoop-de-doo. You still don't have a back half end of your bullpen. You still don't have. Okay, you added maybe a starting pitcher. Fine, whatever. Is it still good enough? No, not really. But you don't have bullpen help.
It's a little bit better than last year,
huh?
It's a little bit better than last year.
It's quintessentially the best team because although pitching does win you games, you still need offense to score runs, and I still can't find a way where the runs are going to be scored by.
We'll see because again they still have good coaching. It could happen. What I'm saying is don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. I agree with you 100% that they're not going to win a championship. They're nowhere near close winning the championship. But I also wouldn't be surprised if they make the playoffs.
I just want fucking October baseball for all. I just want to be interested.
And I'm telling you, that's a possibility this year. That is a possibility this year. Believe it or not,
it's not a possibility. It is not a possibility.
What you want to
bet? If they back, not even back end. Let's just say they just win the division simply because their division is weak as hell, and that's the only way they got into the playoffs, right? Let's just get in that aspect, right? If they win the division with 87 wins, I am not confident that they're going to beat the Mets or the Phillies or the Dodgers or the Braves or the Braves or any of the other teams that are better than the Chicago Cubs right now by a landslide.
They won 83. They won 83 the last 2 years. 83% the last 2.
I kept it I kept it the same because it's literally been the same team running it back, bro. I don't know why you're arguing with me.
The last time, look, I could see them. Okay, I'll give them 86 wins.
Shit. You and Pagoda are very nice and very generous to the Chicago Cubs.
86 the minimum amount of wins, bro. 86 the minimum. I can see them going over that. You heard it here first. 86 the minimum. I still don't think they're look. I'm still sitting here. I agree with a lot of what you guys said about how cheap the Ricketts is, how this team isn't going anywhere. I get it. It's mediocre. They're like the Bulls with Derrick Rose, minus the MVP. Let's be honest. Where you kind of like, okay, they're not going to really win anything. They have a chance. You know what? No, I regret saying that. They're not there yet, but they're getting there.
Close. Like they had that with Chris Bryant.
Yeah. Okay. So how about this? They're like, fuck. I'm trying to think of a comp. I feel like with the Bulls, they're a good comparison when they're just gonna be a mediocre team that may make the playoffs, that just maybe make the wild card, and then the year after they're just gonna suck. So think of a Bulls team that in that regard, and there you go. That's who they are. I agree with that.
That's such the worst comp.
I'm trying to compare. Look, I guess I'm trying. The only reason why I'm trying to compare them to the Bulls is because I'm also with you that I'm close to boycotting them. I really am, but I'm not there yet because I feel like this season is going to be a fun season. It's only going to be one fun season, but I do feel like it's going to be fun. I do feel that way. That's why I'm not there yet. After this year, when Tucker doesn't want to resign and his team looks shitty, then it's like, okay, I'm ready to boycott. But I'm not ready to do it this year. I'm gonna enjoy this year, have fun, because I do feel like they'll surprise some people, and then we can get to the boycotting. That's what I'm trying to get to. The Bulls had that one fun stretch when they had Lonzo and DeMar and Zach LaVine, where everybody was on like, oh my God, they're number one in the East, and that was fun. We all knew it wasn't gonna last. It was fun.
I was on board with you. It was fun.
Right. It was fun. I feel like this year is going to be fun. That's all I'm trying to say. I feel like it's going to be a fun year. I give them a B minus. That's how I feel like it's going to be, because I feel like it's going to be a fun year. And then the next year, F minus. I'm right there with you, ready to boycott, because we all know they're not going to re-sign Tucker. We all know that they're only going to get cheaper, and I'm 100% on board with that, 100%. But I do think this year is going to be a fun, surprising year, because I do believe in this coach. I do believe in this. And the ability of Tucker. I do believe in Pete Crow Armstrong, that he could be the star that this team needs. I believe in a lot of these pieces. Amaga, like I said, I think this pitching got better. I do believe it's going to be a fun year. Let's just enjoy for a bit, yeah? Because otherwise, what else are we going to enjoy? The Bulls suck. The Blackhawks suck. We know the White Sox ain't going to do shit, and we're not gonna have the high hopes for the Bears like we did last year. We learned our lesson, so let's. Go in with a little bit of optimism, Eric. Let's be you for a little bit.
Are you done?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
I
Because
feel like I'm winning you over a little bit, though. I feel like I'm winning you over a little bit.
Not really, not even close. You've lost me from the moment you started talking. I'm not gonna lie, bro.
You were
Like
quiet, so I felt like maybe
I wish I had Tony's heart. I really do. He says, yeah, his heart says 90, but in reality it's 80. I wish I had his heart. I really do. But
I'm like
outside of
I'm like
between
I'm like head 85, 86, heart 96.
I am strictly at 83. And I'm keeping it at 83 because I don't see no improvement from this team whatsoever from last year outside of just switching Tucker and Cody Bellinger.
That's an upgrade. That's still an improvement.
Minimum, if any, a
And
minuscule.
but the pitching is also better. So that's why I say give him at least another 3 games, bro. Like, come on. At least if you upgraded in that position with Tucker over Bellinger and then the pitching got better, like you got to give him at least 4 or 5 more games. Come on.
I,
At
I,
least.
it's struggling for me to even give them one, as they were one of the worst bullpen teams last year.
And they
How many
got better.
blown saves that they had? How many games were they in the lead and they blown the lead? How many? Like, come on, bro. Like, you're talking to a guy who actually listens and watches baseball, and you're not winning me over with your optimism, my guy.
I also listen and watch baseball. There's
What
nothing else to watch in the summer. I'm
come on,
also
I've been
listening and
following
watching.
since 1979, and it hurts, and it hurts for me too. Like, look, the one thing that pisses me off is I know there's money there and it's not being used. And I know I've sent you guys a couple TikToks of that one guy who was a former agent and he talked shit about the Ricketts and the Reinsdorfs on our text chain between you, me, and John. And everything that he says, I believe behind the scenes, because I really do not think like they genuinely do care about the fan base at all.
Yeah, but you can say that about everybody.
I look at the Phillies fucking GM and owner, and I see that he cares about the fan base. I see I see teams all over, I see mid market teams going further than us as a major market team, as a major market city.
Yeah, it's simple. The reason why those mid-level teams are like that because
Because their owners care about us and are
yes,
willing to
yes,
spend the money.
because they also have fans who will rip them to shreds, and they know, hey, that we aren't these big market teams that can survive without the fan support. And the only way we're gonna get the fan support is if we put a winning team out there. New York, Chicago, Los
No,
Angeles. Wait, wait,
no.
wait, wait. Those 3 teams can survive without putting a good product out there. But the difference between us and New York and Los Angeles is that they actually try to put a good product out there. We don't. That's our issue. Is that we like look at the Bulls? They still survive because we have idiots who want to go. I mean, not idiots. Let me stop. Because we have fans who still want to go to the game and support them. That if you want to support them, you're 100% okay. I'm sorry for calling you idiot. Forgive me. But again, come on, and it's gonna be the same way for the White Sox. I love all my White Sox fans out there. I do, but like after a year like last year, how are you going to support this team? Like I'll be boycotting to the moon. There's no way in hell. But I get it. You guys love your team. You're gonna go have fun. I 100% understand it. I get it. I get it. It's just tough because these owners know that. They know that's it's a fun event to go to, and they're manipulating and they're using you guys. The Cubs are doing the same to us. The Bulls are doing to us. The Bears were doing it for years, but I feel like now they finally got their head out their ass and they're really trying to compete. But it's just it's tough all around, man.
Sorry, I don't mean to laugh, but I like Tony's comment talking about the Sox are true fans. They still don't show up. I mean, I didn't even know Sox fans even existed.
I
I
mean,
say it has never been.
John's a real Sox fan, man.
John is probably like one of.
Are you still there? Are we still live? Eric seemed like he froze, but John and his family are real Sox fans. They always go to the the home openers. They go to hella games throughout the season. So shout out to them. But the thing is, it's tough. It really is tough. Just being any type of a Chicago sports fan when you have these owners who are crying cheap, who don't want to just it sucks, man. It does suck, and I hear you, Eric. I get what you're saying, and Tony, same here. When it comes to the Cubs, and you guys have this realistic expectation, that's how I am with the Bears. Next year, I'm going into the season thinking, yeah, they're probably only going to win like 4 or 5 games. When in reality, it might just be a fun season, and they could surprise us, right? I get it. I understand it. I do think it's going to be a fun year for the Cubs. I hope that these guys definitely show up, but we'll see. We'll see. All right. Well, an hour in the books. We were going to talk a little bit about wrestling. I can for the next 5 minutes or so. I would say I'm excited to see Jey Uso in the main event at WrestleMania, or just in WrestleMania going against Gunther. I think he's finally going to get his moment. I personally I don't like how predictable it is. I don't like how predictable WrestleMania is going to be so far. We kind of look at the matches and how we think what's going to happen. I think John Cena wins the Elimination Chamber, goes on and face Cody Rhodes. That's probably the only match on the card where you can be like, okay, who's going to win? Are they going to give it to Cena so he can break the record, or are they going to keep it on Rhodes? That match is probably the only one I hope happens, because that'd be probably the only one I look forward to. The Jey Uso Gunther, we've seen it a billion times. Finally, we're going to get a payoff and seeing Jey Uso win, which is fine. But, it doesn't do it for me. It really doesn't. Roman, Seth, Punk, I don't know. Like, is that something we really want to see? Like, I feel like you're cramming 3 storylines in one, and it doesn't really make much sense.
I'm back.
You okay? You good?
Yeah, I guess my internet just went out for a quick second. I think somebody probably disconnected it from
the McWeefy, bro.
Huh?
The McWeefy.
And the McWeefy, that's what happens when you have Wi-Fi here in Northwest Indiana. Sometimes it just goes out of nowhere.
I live in Northwest Indiana, and mine was just fine, obviously.
I don't know. It's probably Xfinity or some shit.
We have Xfinity too.
Oh shit.
So yeah, we went ahead and I thought I was gonna end the show, so I went ahead and started talking wrestling a little bit before we end it.
Oh yeah, wrestling. Yeah, it's very, very top notch. Elimination Chamber right around the corner.
Yeah, bro. But I was just saying, like, like Jey Uso last night on Raw finally picked Gunther, which is fine. Like we all knew it was gonna happen.
That was the only.
But there's something about it, Eric, where it's like I feel like this year you don't have the storylines or the feel or the hype that you did last year. You know what I mean?
Agreed. But I think it's because last year there was a plethora amount of storylines you could have gotten, right? And I think this year
it feels rushed.
It's not even it feels rushed. It just feels unplanned. It feels like they're just winging it. That's how, at least how I see it. I feel like they're just throwing a wet piece of paper and see if it sticks, right? And granted, I said it last week. LA Knight should have gotten the Jey Uso push 2 years ago that he's getting this year, right? I'm sticking by that. And then I love Jey Uso. Yeet. But the thing is, though, it's like I don't know if they're how should I say this nicely? I really want to say this nicely. I really, really, really do. But I just feel like the ending of 2024 was such a kind of like a downer, simply because like the Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley storyline kind of got old. There was nothing really a good planning with Gunther at the end. Cody Rhodes finally had a feud that he didn't have after winning the title towards the tail end of the year. And it's kind of like now they're just like, oh shit, I guess we really didn't. I guess we didn't prepared enough well for this planning type of thing. So I just feel like everything is just like they're just winging it at the moment.
They are. And I get why they did Seth Rollins versus CM Punk at Netflix, because that was, it was such a big moment. I get it.
Of course.
But I feel like you could have done more. I feel like the Roman solo match was perfect. You could have had that. You could have kept that in there. But Seth and CM Punk should have been at WrestleMania. I feel like that would have been one of the biggest matches you've done. You don't even need a title for it.
No, you don't.
You don't need a title for it at all. You should have kept that on there.
Yeah.
At some point, you should have done Randy Orton and Cody, and it never happened. Now I don't know if it ever is going to happen. Cody and Cena is probably the only big match you can do. The only match that it wouldn't be predictable, because you could keep the belt on Cody, or you can give it to Cena. But let's be honest, the triple threat, if it is triple threat between Seth, Roman, and Punk, Punk has to come out on top. The only reason why you have a triple threat is because they gotta protect these guys. Roman's not gonna take the pinfall. It's gonna be Seth Rollins. Punk wins that match. Uso wins the belt. Charlotte wins the belt.
Oh, I want to keep that one in Tiffy.
I don't care. I don't care who wins the Elimination Chamber. Rhea's gonna come out on top. It's like you know what's gonna happen. It's like it's all very predictable. I'm not invested in any of the tag teams at all, other than the New Day.
They should have the titles quick.
I hope they get it, but I'm not invested in any of the storylines they have for the tag team titles. They hardly ever use Braun Breaker. Shinsuke Nakamura is non-existent. Like what are you guys doing? Like what are we doing here?
I do feel like Triple H had such an exciting year last year, and it was really, really great and everything. And I just feel like, okay, he doesn't like. I felt like he swung with the fences, and now he's going like on a hitless streak. Like he's not really approaching it with great success this year, in my eyes. I just don't know, like, because I feel like he's doing the storylines for free or on cable or on Netflix or on something. You know what I mean? And now he's making these PLE matches kind of like non-interesting, non-something, like, you know, like and that's how I view it. I don't know. I could be wrong.
And I hope I'm wrong too. I hope it starts to steam up. We're just a little bit impatient. I get it. And it can be. But like, I'm not as invested as I was last year going into wrestling. That's all I'm saying.
I agree. I'm on the same boat with you, because last year I was super invested, even when Cody won the Royal Rumble, because we all know it. I think everybody knows that last year was supposed to be CM Punk winning the Royal Rumble, and then he chooses Seth Rollins.
Yeah,
and that was supposed to be main event one, and Cody was supposed to win Elimination Chamber main event two, the way how it was, right?
Vice versa.
Or vice versa. Yeah, exactly. But now it's just kind of like, you're right. Everything seems too predictable. John Cena feels like he's going to win the Elimination Chamber because it only makes sense. You know, it only makes sense. Like you said, Rhea's going to win the women's title no matter who it is going to be coming out of the Elimination Chamber. Unless if somehow, some way they still tie in some type of storyline or some shit like that with Rhea and losing, because you know, what are you going to do with Bianca Belair and the tag titles for the women? What about Jade Cargill?
Right, like where the Jade Cargill? I feel like that'll help. Like if you get the Jade Cargill story back, and like to me that only makes sense if Bianca's the one who attacked her. Then you have that feud, and it'd be really great to see. But
and you get that in SummerSlam, maybe.
I want to see it at Mania, man, but I don't know.
It's just weird. I honestly feel like they're literally throwing wet papers on the wall and see if it sticks. You know. Give me LA Knight and Braun Breaker for all I care at this point for WrestleMania. But again, they didn't do anything for Braun Breaker. They're not doing enough for Braun Breaker with that title. He's just holding on it with a cowboy hat. You know, that's all that he's doing. So I don't know. It's weird. But in Triple H, I trust, because if he could pull out bangers, you know, if he could have had a year like he did last year, maybe he could have saved himself upcoming for this WrestleMania. But it doesn't look too promising.
Yep, I agree. Real quick, on the AEW side, they released Rusev. You remember Rusev?
I remember Rusev.
They released Rusev, Aleister Black, who was Malachi Black there. And you don't know Ricky Starks, but Ricky Starks was a really good wrestler there for AEW. All three of these guys are free agents. Can you see any of them in WWE?
The last two that you mentioned.
Aleister Black and Ricky Stark?
Yeah.
I agree.
Rusev, I think his time came and went in WWE, and I don't think we're ready for the gimmick that he had in the WWE right now.
He's got to be different, because he doesn't do it for me either. I agree. I think Aleister Black definitely comes back, and I can see Ricky Starks in NXT. I can.
Definitely. But this is the Windy City Rundown. We'd like to thank Tony, John, everybody else who joined us on today's episode. Guys, make sure you follow us on all our social media platforms, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram, and on TikTok. Guys, there's a little bell right on our page when our show goes live. Make sure you hit that bell to get notified when our shows are all live. It's going to be every Tuesday around 7 o'clock, so make sure you join us at that time too as well. Very fun conversation about today. And next week, we will keep you guys updated on our show. Make sure you guys follow us on our Facebook page. Jose, any last words?
Yeah, the Cubs weren't on our docket for today, but I love how it goes. You never know what might happen. And
again, we just threw something on the wall and it stuck.
It was a good conversation. I'm excited to see how the season goes. I'm gonna be invested. I'm invested, bro. I'm invested.
I love it how when the roles reverse, where you're the optimistic.
Yeah, it's funny.
Guy when it comes to the team, I really do love it because you see a side of Eric that's just frustrated, and I'm frustrated.
And how you are with the Cubs is how I am with the Bulls right now, and it's kind of you know what I mean.
You don't want me to get with Arsenal right now. Actually,
no. That game between Real Madrid and
Man City.
Yeah, I was watching it at work. High quality. They had it in the cafeteria at work, that big TV. Oh my god, it was.
Yeah. So next week's show, we'll probably get more in depth of the Bears in the draft and what they're gonna do. We're gonna play GM. Jose and I are gonna take time over the weekend to become Bears GM. See what we want to do. Jose, there's a site that I want you to try out to do mock drafting. And I want to see what you do. I want to see your letter grades on what you do for the Chicago Bears. See what you can do, how to rebuild the Chicago Bears.
Send it to me. I'll try it.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. We're gonna do that next week. We're gonna play Bears GM next week. Get into more on what the Bears should get. A lot more baseball talk, Bulls talk, if there is any. And also next week will probably be our last show, and then we're gonna have a week off simply because this guy is going to London. So we're gonna go with that one too as well. So we'll see.
I'll tell you what. The week you're in London, I will do a wrestling show, strictly wrestling. We'll talk about the wrestling of the week. Okay, and then when you come back, we'll talk about a wrestling show for us. So,
all right, that's a special guest. You need to get a guest.
No. I mean, whoever wants to jump on is great. I'll welcome anybody, but I don't mind doing it alone. So
there you go. There you go. Windy City Rundown. That's Jose Contreras. I am Eric Avila. We like to thank Tony. We like to thank John. We like to thank everybody else who joined us like this. And who else am I forgetting? Everybody else. That's pretty much it. I'd like to thank everybody that joined us today, watched us, liked our show. Thank you very much. We will be on next week, same time, same place, on Tuesday at 7 o'clock on YouTube and on Facebook. And as always, Jose, hit that mother.
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
He's running like he's got a lobster down his pants, showing that he is as slippery as a bar of soap, like poop through a diarrhea-infected goose.
Commented about it.
That's fine. That's fine. I'm not laughing about it. You think this is funny? I take this serious.
I'm
serious. I put my heart and soul into this every single week.
Are we done here?
It's about time.